Good morning. It's 6 a.m. Wind is good. They're like 20 knots, 15, 18 knots. Perfect wind for testing the 8.2. So timing is always perfect here on Garda. There's a beautiful sun, and I'm sure we're gonna get all done today. So quick breakfast first, and then we go. So we are back here to the beach. The wind looks kind of light meaning like maybe 12 to 15, 16 knots. So it's the perfect wind for testing the 8.2s in light wind. I'm going to use the 138 board, so the big board, which is 85 wide. It's very important for me to have the first test by myself, because I can focus on the feeling of the sail, and I can check if there are some major mistakes that I need to correct on the sails. One good thing about the test today is that the sails are perfect. I mean, how we design them directly, they feel good. There's nothing wrong with them, meaning that the opening of the leash, the profiles, the cam rotation, everything is just working perfectly. It's very stable. They're both very comfortable. But of course there was a difference on the sails. So today the wind was light, it was like 12 to 15 knots, so the light wind performance was important to feel today. I will have to try them again in two different conditions. The first condition will be with stronger winds, because I want to see the limit of the sail on the big board, on a small board as well, smaller board, and also strong wind on the big board. I used the 138 liter 85 wide board with a 46 fin, so it's a perfect light wind setup. And the sail which gave me the most speed, the best feeling, was actually the sail with the 490 mast. The mast was stiffer, and the first thing that I felt accelerating was much faster because of the power of the stiffness of the mast. It was lifting up more the board, so the board was just flying, was railing better, and it felt just like having an 8.8 but in a smaller version. I really liked it. One true thing is that of course the sails nowadays have such a big range that if I would have had an 8.8 or 8.2, in terms of wind range is not that big the difference, I believe, but 8.2 for sure felt like it was a bit smaller, shorter boom, a little bit lighter, hard to say, because anyway the sails get light if they work properly in the wind. So it was just more the idea that when the gust came, when the wind got stronger, the sail was a little bit smaller. But let's say that it's a nice choice for light wind, because still was planing very early, and in the strongest gusts I got, I didn't feel like I had problems to control. With this sail I actually I didn't do full downwinds. I didn't go for like real speed runs, because that's not interesting with a big size. I still went downwind like if I would be racing. I went upwind, and the sail performed better than the sail with the 460 mast. I reached a speed of half wind downwind of 33.03 knots, while with the sail with the 460 mast I was touching 31.6, so it's like a knot and a half slower. And the feeling that I had of this being better, it's also like confirmed by the GPS in the end. As this one with the 460 had less drive, the sail doesn't have the power that the 490 sail was giving. The 460 is a softer mast, so it's more relaxed. It takes more wind to rail the board, so in light wind I couldn't really rail the board as well as the 490 mast sail was doing. And it was feeling lighter. It was feeling more like a kind of a bigger 7.8. Yes, I would have had a little bit more power than a 7.8, but not the power that I was receiving from the 8.2 with the 490 mast. It felt very easy. The board was staying flat, more lighter in the handling because the mast is softer, but at the same time less powerful. So what I was getting in the handling for pumping, which was a bit nicer to pump the softer mast, but at the same time I wasn't getting into plane earlier because the power was a bit missing. So I really feel like this is a little bit bigger 7.8, and this I feel like it's a smaller 8.6. And if I would have to choose now thinking about the big board, there would be no doubt that I would go for this sail, because I'm looking for performance in light wind, and this one is what was giving me the performance in light wind. This I would have to use when it's more windy, and at that point I could be maybe already on a 7/8, let's say. Now, what would be interesting would be to try it in the light wind and strong wind, but with a smaller board, because in the end, the 85 centimeter board is actually a board which is designed to go with a 490 mast more than a 460 mast. But when we're going to use the 80 cm wide board, or 77, 75, then we still have to see if the 490 is giving that advantage, or if it's becoming too heavy and too stiff against the A2 with the 460. So that's going to be the next test. I hope tomorrow morning we're going to have again wind for the condition we had today, for the board I used today. 490 mast prototype was the faster one by quite a lot. So let's check out the next days. So this morning we're going to start again testing the A2s. It's pretty windy. This is my friend Max Purwitzer with a 6.8 and a 98 liter board. He's already outside. I'm going to use him as my rabbit to check if the sails are going to be good or not in strong wind, because of course he's on 6.8, I would be on 8.2. So we're going to try the sails fully maxed out with a lot of wind. How windy is it, Max? Strong. So strong on 6.8. That's good. Good for testing the A2s.
Yeah.
Another early rabbit has arrived. Another person which is kind of fast, very fast actually, in slalom. So I'm going to use him to test the sails. So the two A2s are ready, they're rigged. My friends are also on the water already, so I'm going to chase them to see with which sail in strong wind I can be faster than them, if I can be faster than them. And I'm going to use the 72 wide board. This is the smallest board you can use with the A2. Then the next step will be to send the sails to the team so they can give me their opinion as well, and I will know what they talk about as I've tested them myself, which is very important for a sail designer. So back to the beach. I changed. I was kind of a long time on the water testing not only the two sails but also some fins, and so I was on the 72 centimeter wide board, A2. The wind was around 23-24 knots in the gusts with lows of 20-21 knots. So pretty powered up. Not the sail I would use for racing maybe in those conditions. I would have been better on a 7.0 and the smaller board, or even 7.8 and the medium board. But of course I wanted to try the A2s in powered up conditions, and I could hold them without any problems. They were super stable, and that's the great thing about having a stable sail with the right power focus on your body, that you can hold them long. So yesterday I was out with the, let's say, very light wind, 12 knots, today 25, and I enjoyed the sail in both conditions, which means that from planing wind, so like 11 knots up to 25 knots, I can just use the A2, and that's the objective of the sail. And I can use it on the 72 wide board, I can use it on the 85 wide board, so anything in between also will work perfectly. The sail which had the 460 mast was again feeling like more 7.8, while the one with the 490 mast was feeling more like an 8.8 sail in terms of feeling of the sail, where the 460 mast is more soft, so it's like breathing more, it's like a little bit more forgiving when you hit the chop, while the 490 is giving you that extra drive to accelerate and have that extra power in the lighter winds. But now we're talking about strong winds, so I went out first on the 490 mast sail, and I did 36.2 knots, something like this, or 36, and it felt really easy as well. I could feel that the sail was kind of a stiffer sail, but you know, even if it was choppy with the 72 wide board, which is just hovering over the water as well, I didn't feel like I needed a softer mast in that case. And that was in extreme conditions where I think nobody would actually use the sail in, or if they would do, you know, it would still work without any problem, but that's the maximum, and anything which would have been lighter, it would have worked even better and better. And when I took the 460 sail, so the A2 with the 460 mast, I was going, let's say, a little bit slower. I couldn't go over 36, I did 35 point something, so it was a little bit slower because I didn't get this extra drive that the 490 produced. I'm not saying that the 490 mast is a better mast, but it just works nicer on a bigger sail than an 8.0, so that's why I'm getting advantages with the 490 mast. It's not that I'm going to put the 490 on a 7.0 and it's going to be better, no. It's just that on an 8 meter the 490 was just performing better. And so I felt like the A2, the 460 mast was kind of a bigger 7.8, and in that kind of condition I didn't find any advantage of being on an A2, of course, because it was windy, and I would have preferred to be on the 460 and the 7.8, and in any case. So if I would have to choose now between the two sails again, I would probably go for the 490 8.2 sail, because in the end it was an extreme condition. I could still use it without any problems, so there was no need for me to have the 460 mast sail, and I could feel that I was faster, and I'm sure that when the wind would have dropped I would have had a bigger advantage on the 490 mast on this A2. I think the test is pretty easily done. I would have continued testing also on a 75 wide board, 77 wide board, something between the two boards I used, but it doesn't make any sense, because in the end, if I was feeling good on the 72 with the 490 mast, I'm sure that on the 77, 75 or 80 wide board it would feel also good enough, you know, so there will be no need to test it on this. This time we were lucky. There was no need to take the sails to the loft to get modified, because the profiles are good. They are profiles which have been tested already a long time, many years, and we are using them on the AC1 LTDs, other sizes, so they just work perfectly also for the A2s. The twist of the leech is perfect, so there's nothing to be modified. The outline looks nice. For sure, maybe in the future, you know, we can go and cut out those few millimeters here and there to make it even better, but for now there's nothing I can feel that I would need to change. Next step will be to send the sails to Tati France. He is flying to Holland next week to pick them up, and we'll bring them to Bonaire so you can try them with Amado. So they will be on the same boards, and so they can try and see head to head which one is better for them. I've written down all my notes on the acceleration, jibing, upwind, so when they're going to tell me what they feel, you know, I will have an idea exactly of what they're talking about as I manage to try them. So if they want some changes, to try something different, it will not be a problem for me to change, because I know exactly where to put my hands on the sails. And yeah, we have to wait for their feedback, and then we can decide which of the sails to put in production. I know my choice. Let's see if the guys are going to agree.